Hello, hello. Okay, well, good afternoon. Thanks everyone for coming to this session. The session today is we want to talk about the value for marketing. You've heard this term throughout the days, so I'm very grateful to be with such amazing leaders here on the panel. I'll let them introduce themselves. But we have Daniel from Volaris, Surya from Fly a Deal, Terry from Frontier, and Adrian from Play. And please, guys, if you can do a quick intro, and then we will kick it off. So I don't know, first, ladies.
Sure. Tyra Squires, Vice President of Marketing for Frontier Airlines. I've been at Frontier, based here in lovely Denver, Colorado for 9 years. This is the third airline I've worked for, and they've all been low-fare carriers, so I'm excited to dig in and talk a little bit about how we think about things.
Hey everyone, my name's Adrian. I work for the Icelandic startup Play. We're just coming up to our 2-year birthday. I've worked in aviation for over 20 years with a mixture of different legacy, low cost, and national airlines. So yeah, looking forward to speaking to you all today.
Hi everyone. Hi, my name is Surya. I head e-commerce and distribution at Fly a Deal. Fly a Deal is the only LCC out of Saudi Arabia. I've been there for 5 years since it was a startup. Before that, I was with Scoot and Tiger Air out of Singapore.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm with Volaris. Volaris is the largest carrier in Mexico, and I'm in charge of marketing, e-commerce, and digital customer care, as we are low cost.
And I'm Poncho. I lead global customer success every Mundo, and I have the pleasure again to work with all of these amazing airlines and customers. So I will open a little bit the room to talk about low fares as a competitive advantage for an LCC, right? Like I think after COVID disruptions, market crashes, and throughout the years, the airline aviation, of course, was used to a particular model where basically, legacy carriers or others were trying to put flying users from one place to another. And then, LCCs came to the question, okay, when we want to disrupt, or I guess undisrupt what was out there, and low fares become one of the main competitive advantages for this model, right? So what I wanted to get some of your guys' insight is like how low fares for you, plays a role in your day-to-day marketing communications and strategies, and how do you see this as an advantage for your tactics and digital and in marketing as a whole? So, someone want to start maybe?
Sure. So obviously a low fare is critical for what I do in our business. And I think what's really important when we're looking at a competitive advantage, sometimes we're not competing with other airlines, we're competing with the couch, encouraging people to go more often. And I would say, COVID really reprioritized people's needs in life. They found that maybe they missed those aunts and uncles that weren't so great before to spend time with, but you now prioritize that family time. So we saw a really big change in the way that our customers were traveling, and traveling even with greater frequency. So, we've done a lot of work to deliver products and services that are a little bit different. People aren't just traveling to go to exciting destinations, though they can do that with us. They're traveling to visit friends and family. There's been a lot of migration in the U.S. Across the country, people leaving some of the big cities for smaller cities and vice versa. So all of that migration means that people now need to go connect with their families and friends in different ways. So our low fares afford people to be able to do that and stay connected. And in fact, we released a product just a few months ago, our Go Wild All-You-Can-Fly Pass is a perfect example of how we've been developing different products to meet that demand. So it's basically one low price for a year or a season, and it's all you can fly. Literally, you can fly as many times as you want with the pass, and you just pay the taxes. And we've had just a tremendous response with that product, but it really shows the difference. I don't know that it would have been received the same way pre-pandemic as it has now. And it's really just exciting to see people getting back to the things that they really care about and getting out and going. So when we talk about competition, sometimes it's not other airlines, though we do compete with other airlines. We think about what are other things that people want to buy, and how can we encourage them to say, hey, this is something that you can have through our low fares.
Adrian, do you want to?
Yeah, sure. I think for Play, we are a challenger brand coming into the marketplace against big, massive US carriers, big national airlines in Europe. But not only that, we also compete against the very low-cost European carriers as well into our home market in Reykjavik, and also the connections via Reykjavik into the US or into Europe. So for us, in our infancy, low aggressive fare marketing is absolutely underpins what we do day to day commercially, and the partnership with Everymundo is fundamental to that. So as we evolve and grow as an airline, we need to make sure that our low fare marketing approach is front and center to what we do, because longer term, as many of my colleagues on the stage will tell you, they're at a different stage in their evolution of an airline. We're at the very beginning, and we have to get people's attention, and often that is with the lowest fare. So as we evolve as an airline and our proposition differs, we will also then start to introduce different product services and give reasons other than a low fare for people to choose us. But right now, fundamentally, our low fare marketing and tactics is what drives our everyday.
Thank you, Adrian. Daniel, do you want to comment anything?
Sure. For us, low fares, it's not just marketing, it's part of the complete business strategy. In Mexico, the market is very special. Now, the legacy carriers are almost gone. 70% is dominated by ULCCs. And that was the idea, to attract people that couldn't fly before. We don't go after the business. We try to attract BFR, and we have a strategy called bus switching. We try to convince people that travel in bus, long rides, to try flying for the first time. And once they try the airplane, they don't want to go back to the bus. 80% remain flying. So we try to democratize the skies, and being able to offer low fares as low as $1, actually 1 peso, which is 5 cents of a dollar. And we do that, and we attract those people who never thought they were going to fly before.
Okay. So a lot of the LCC airlines take low fares as a competitive advantage, right? So Flyadeal have flipped, and Flyadeal fundamentally born out of a commitment of low fare itself. So our brand positioning is everyday low fares and fly for less. So that means we gave a commitment to our customers that if you book 14 days in advance, we will be the cheapest in that route. So holding a competitive advantage might be much easier rather than the commitment. But where we have done is we moved and positioned our brand for a low fare commitment, which is even more harder to deliver. So then the fare marketing comes into play, right? How you market the fare rightly to keep up your commitment to the customers.
And sorry, I think that's a great segue to the next topic, that is that the power of our marketing, right? And I mean, it's clear that all you guys in your respective models, of course, efficiency, right? Scalability, making sure that you're doing a lot with sometimes less resources is key, and in a way to communicate all of these requires time and effort in some of the cases. So I wanted to touch base on how you've been using for marketing, this concept for marketing in those strategies, and some of you already alluded some use cases. But if you need to mention, okay, where for marketing for a particular tactic has become fundamental in your marketing strategy, you can mention one example, one use case, one campaign that you had that has brought up the power for marketing into those tactics. So maybe you'll start with We go all the way around? Okay.
Okay. So if you talk about fair marketing, right? So comparing LCCs versus full service, what is the difference? We fly the same equipment. We have similar competitive schedules. So the only game changer is fair, and how do you market it across the funnel, right? How do you use it for your acquisition, activation, revenue, and retention across the funnel? So I can give a classic example where we have used the entire stack of EveryMundo for our national day. So we as I said, we are a everyday low fares airline. We don't actually run a promotion actively on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. So we generally do a national day campaign where we sell flights at 50 Riyal, which is like $10 fare, 100,000 seats at $10. So how do we market this fare is basically we use EveryMundo AirSCM product for acquisition of new traffic, and then we use custom pages from the airtraffic's product to make sure that the segue from your acquisition comes back to your activation channel and then back to the funnel, back to the booking funnel. And we use our own personalization metrics and tools to improve the conversion rate across the funnel, and as well as the retention too. So if you don't have the entire stack of fair marketing, you will never be able to retain the customer starting from the acquisition onto retention. So there will always be gaps. So fair marketing platform will bridge your gaps along with your other complementary ad tech or CX products.
Daniel, an
Yes.
example from Volaris?
Sure. In our case, maybe two examples. We have, for example, our big anniversary sale that we were in our 17th birthday, so we had 17 pesos fares. But we didn't want to announce this with lots of time in advance because people were going to stop buying and just wait for the 17 pesos fare. So we just did like 12-hour in advance announcement that we're gonna go with these 17 pesos fares. And the next day, we almost crashed the page and the app because of the traffic we had. But that was like a very big promotion. So in the day-to-day, we have also these models. And the interesting stuff for me is that it becomes so hard when you work with revenue and they are optimizing in real time every day to actually know exactly where the good prices are. So the magic of these new models, they are so scalable, and clients help other clients to find the low prices, because when somebody find a really low price, it will stay on the pages. Like somebody found $20 Cancun to Tijuana or whatever, so they can go exactly the date and the route where the low prices are now. Like we have the more of the low prices, so that's really interesting. Like we actually, our clients help us to promote and find these great deals.
Adrian?
So I think for us as Play, we have a limited amount of funding in terms of our marketing. So we use fair marketing as a key pillar, again, to make our money as efficient as possible and as economical as possible. So what I mean by that is we use fair marketing in all of our messaging to ultimately drive traffic to the website. And then once we get those users onto the website, we focus on the CRO piece and making sure that we get them through the funnel and converting as much as possible. So I think from Play's perspective, it's fundamental to what we do to acquire traffic and drive conversion. So yeah, it's a key piece each and every day in everything that we're doing across the teams.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's fundamental. Isn't an understatement. We use it in all of our marketing at all touch points. So we use it everything from audience acquisition to conversion to building loyalty, and we invest a lot in our loyalty products as well, as we find that we can really drive real brand value with the customers. longer term with that engagement. And so at all three of those stages in a customer, that's an abbreviated version of a customer life cycle, we are using fares to drive that behavior. You know, we get you in with a low fare, we keep you flying us with the low fare, and then we keep you coming back again and again with low fares. So, and we really use it at all touch points. All of our paid media uses dynamic. I would suggest, you know, Daniel was mentioning sales. You know, we do 3 sales probably a week with a very small team. How do you keep up with that cadence? You need tools and technology. And the other piece that we really rely on EveryMundo for is the personalization that it offers. So you can deliver an email, as an example, with an offer, a fare that they can go click on and convert with right away. They can find the fare. They don't have to go hunting for it. We lead them right to the fare that they've seen in the ad, which is critical in building trust with the customer and in converting and getting the booking. So it's a really it's really embedded in all of the dimensions that we look at from a marketing perspective.
Thank you, Terry. And this is also we often hear from our customers that I just mentioned this because of the 3 sales per week you mentioned. Like, now you have an excuse, right, to create a sale, right? In the past, it was almost to plan a sale was kind of crazy, right? Like, I need to coordinate with so many stakeholders and figure out an RM. But now you have an excuse, and we often see our customers that now they come up with these sales, and it's always a good excuse to keep engaged the customer, which I think is key in everything. And I think this goes a good segue to the next topic of aligning revenue management and marketing. And I think, Danielle, you mentioned these. We often say then that for marketing, align these both worlds, right? You guys' world, digital marketing and revenue management. So maybe if some of you can elaborate a little bit of how are those strategies aligned? How do you work with RM or even other departments, maybe other departments involved where you need to in a way, execute what they are doing, right? We know the RM people are doing a lot of work optimizing those fares, but as I always say, if they can change it 100 times in an hour, but if no one sees it, then what's the point, right? So if you can elaborate a little bit of any of the tactics or alignment that you have internally with RM, but in other departments that have been key for the success of your strategy. So now we go back to you, Terry.
Okay. Well, I will just say candidly in the beginning, we really had to sell this to our RM team. They were nervous to just let it fly. Obviously, there's legal restrictions in how you display fares. So they were really concerned about how it would work. Now it is all they want to do. It's so easy for them to build campaigns and, you know, they don't have to explain every detail. We can move really quickly and to put together sales, you know, on the fly. So now we've got them addicted to it and we do it quite a bit. But it did take some convincing because there's a trust factor. Will the customers really be able to deliver what they're seeing in the ads or emails or whatever, what have you? So definitely it took some work, but now we're there and we're very well aligned.
I'd repeat that essentially. I think what the tools allowed us to do is to bring the departments together, not just revenue management and pricing, but also I've got some colleagues in the room from our digital development team as well. And I feel like we're still a really small airline with 10 aircraft, so we've still got that ability to be really quick and to have that as a competitive advantage. And by using these tools for fares, we can now implement sales tactics at pace and at scale across multiple markets really, really quickly without being bogged down in processes and procedures and bureaucracy. So I've found since I've been at Play that it's been a really quick environment and really fast paced, and I think that's crucial because we've pulled all of the departments together to make sure that we all work in that harmony, if you like. But I think the underpinning element of that is that everyone has confidence in what we're doing, in the dynamic pricing that we're offering, and in being able to present real fares in real time across multiple markets. So I think that breeds confidence as well.
Thank you, Darren. Sorry.
Just before that, how many people are from revenue management in this room? Okay, don't get my statement derogatory. Okay, majority of the RMT members are in a ostrich mode, right? They are cocooned by their own philosophies of inventory management rather than getting educated on the demand side of it, right? They know how to manage the active demand, but not really mapping the demand from all the digital channels. Okay, so at Flyadeal, what we have convinced our RM team is, okay, you take the demand from the website because 90% of our sales are coming from our website and mobile app. So you take the demand data, observe the demand data from the Everymundo Fairnet, and try to change your ways of inventory management. Okay, then it would eventually, it was a bit difficult for us, but over a period of time we have been using the product for 2 years. First 6 months was a bit naive in terms of understanding the data, but later once they got hand of how to use the demand data on the website to do a inventory management along with their traditional ways, it really changed the way, and we have improved our fares, yielded up our fares, because we operate in a very high intraday demand. So if you see all other markets where, you see you're getting a base load 60 days before departure or 30 days before departure, whereas in Saudi Arabia, you see 60% of your sales on that day's flight are filled on that day itself. So that means it is very correlative to your search data on your website and the probability of yielding up on your seats as well. So we have really used that data, Fairnet data, to change the way how we manage intraday demand.
For us in the same line, it now has become so easy to create a campaign or help people find the prices that we have an internal joke that we are becoming the Walmart of aviation with everyday low prices and instead of just big sales. And now I think it sometimes become even more difficult to coordinate with traditional marketing because it goes so fast in digital that if you need to support with radio, TV, traditional TV, things like that, they cannot be ready one day to the other. And now it's possible with the digital tools.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. I would go a little bit quicker on the next one because we're running out of time. It's very interesting, but really quick about automation scalability, the big topic, right, that we're talking about. Maybe someone can explain a little bit. We don't need to go through all of you guys but how are you using automation scalability in your day-to-day tactics? There's anywhere, of course, Everymundo is one of the big drivers of that, but if there are any other areas where you see this as part of the core of what's happening on a day-to-day, considering, like, again, going back to the efficiency and having smaller teams and leaner teams that depend on this. Anyone that wants you? Surya, thank you.
Okay. So I'll touch base across the overall strategy, what we have followed across automation, scalability of the automation, and intervention of AI. So the classic example is we were in a traditional mode of media agency for search management. So we have automated the entire process using the AirSCM product. So that means there is no manual intervention. So your advertising technology have intervened in the overall process of manual process and automated the entire usage of SEM to a different level. And then how you scale up the usage of your automation is what we have done is we have collaborated with our CRO platform and run AI-based algorithms for different audience segments. So we have run algorithms where what is the likelihood to purchase for a set of audience? What is the conversion prediction of an individual set of audience? What is the probability of conversion based on their travel affinity or interest clusters? So we have used our primary data and used AI to predict all these audiences and passed and the ad channels which are on SEM, Google, Microsoft, Yandex or Facebook, wherever it is. Then what happens is your reliance on your automation and you're scaling up the entire automation to a different level with the AI intervention, will reduce the cost significantly and improves your revenue. And you're actually ready for your cookieless world, because you're not using cookies, right? You are actually using your own data. You're only using your own data, enriching them for and fitting the purpose. That's how we were doing. And thanks to my RSEM team, in 2022 we have run this methodology, and 50% of our ads are not served with any cookies. It's extremely our primary data, which are enriched using AI algorithms.
And sorry, this is a great segue to my next question. It's phase search, or SEM, for those that profitable for LCCs. And this is a very, there's a contentious debate about this, considering how, expensive cost per clicks are and so on. But I mean, with Flyadeal and Volaris, we have a very strong relationship through the years about doing SEM. But I'm sure this side of the house will say yes, but I want to hear a little bit of this side of the house, if whether you guys think SEM is profitable for your respective strategies. Tyre?
Yeah, I would say we are, I'm sure everybody up here is low cost, but we're extremely frugal with our budgets, and I don't always find paid search to be the most efficient use of funds. We do some targeted opportunities using paid search, but it's a little bit more limited. We've obviously done lots of testing, and sometimes we are also not quite patient enough, because you have to give it some time to learn, which would be another part of the discipline that becomes a challenge for us. So we do some. It isn't always our most efficient channel, though. So,
Adrian?
So for us at the moment, where we are on our journey, we use it a huge amount, and for us it's really beneficial. So we're quite aggressive in that space at the moment. But again, I think that's because of where we are in our journey and as a relatively new airline. So yeah, for us, it's a core piece of what we do day to day, and I don't see that changing in the immediate future. Again, just because of where we are as an airline.
Perfect. And that leads to, well, this is just one example we're doing with our friends at Volaris, similar to Flyadeal. So I wanna close the remarks on the present and future of your strategy, right? And we talked a lot about how first and love first and fair marketing it's key. What is the next big thing that you see? One, of course, on your core strategy outside Evermundo, but also where do you see that Evermundo can fit into strategy, or what do you want Evermundo to help you fit in the next big thing that you're planning internally? So, if anyone, now let's go, Daniel.
Yeah, I think as Tyre mentioned, it's very expensive to do SEM, so everybody will benefit from strengthening SEO. So that part of the business will keep growing and playing a big part. And in the broader picture, we have talked a lot in this conference about AI. I think the next frontier, it's not already here, but we have to start looking into the metaverse, selling tickets as NFTs. It will be a big change. And we are actually also copying frontier strategy of we have an annual pass, which you can also fly just paying the taxes, and we will benefit from the ancillary revenue and increase the load factor. So it's a new ball game, like selling tickets for nothing, just an annual subscription. So let's see how that goes, but there's a lot of room still for innovation in the industry.
From a Flyadeal perspective, so I'll just touch base on the previous question, whether SEM is profitable or not. So SEM is always profitable if you innovate and democratize the way how you use the metrics, right? So if you continue to impound your methodology of CPC onto your team, you will never be able to make money, because the team will never innovate with the CPC methodology. So what we have done is we have really democratized the way how we operate and given enough room for the SCM team to innovate, saying that, okay, you don't worry about the CPC metrics, just focus on the CPA and cost of sale to make it lower. From an innovation perspective, where we are heading towards is, many of the low-cost airlines operate on a PSS where the data is a bit cluttered and tied. So that means your primary data cannot be used or taken out pretty quickly to enrich and use it for monetization. So our next biggest focus, what we are working towards, is getting your primary data out of the PSS and use it along with your CRO, CDPs, and fair marketing tools to improve the overall conversion rate and make money. And of course, the next point is the demand evolution. So FairNet gives you the demand on your website, and you have other tools which gives you demand which is off your website. So how do you bridge the delta between the demand off-site and demand on-site, right? So this would be a game changer to actually price and play your game across different destinations which any airline would operate. So these are the two things which we are looking forward for the 2023.
Thanks. And just two close remarks, you guys.
Yeah, I think we're sort of mentioned the Go Wild All You Can Fly passes. It's not only in the way that we're thinking about how we're delivering the value to our customers, it's what they are wanting. What is different? What's changed in really adapting to what customers are changing in their lifestyle and what they're asking for. So trying new products is going to be another part of what we do. And we're really, we're working closely with EveryMundo. Hey, we've got this new product where you just fly for taxes. So how do I display that fare differently, right? And how do we create some dynamism there and really feel like the customer's understanding the value and it's easy for them to get to what they want. So I think we're going to continue to grow that. And as we look particularly at our loyalty products, there's another opportunity there. Those are quite valuable. We develop deep and rich relationships with our customers, which is so much more cost effective than trying to go get new customers every booking. And so we'll continue to find ways. Our low fare club called the Discount Den is another example. And we're working with EveryMundo. How do we create a display of those fares distinctive from our other low fares? And so those are kind of the places where we know there's a lot of value that we haven't tackled yet. So even before we get to the big, crazy, wild other things that may be on the horizon, there's some immediate good things that we see even hopefully happening this year. So.
And I guess the last thing from me on that would be just a relentless focus on performance and on costs. So we've got a range of different EveryMundo products, and I think we just need to maximize each and every one of them every day to the benefit of our organization. So I think what we're trying to do internally is just have that relentless focus on performance, whilst also keeping an eye on the costs, and just maximizing what we spend and where, and making the most of the tools that we've got in place.
Well, thank you very much, guys, for your notes and comments. And I think it has been a very insightful session. So thanks everyone for joining, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next sessions. And feel free to come to us if you have any specific questions. And thanks again. We'll see you around.